All right, welcome, welcome. Let's start our prayer. Father, we thank you, we bless you, God, for this day you've given us, for the opportunity to just come together, for the fellowship that will take place in this appointed time. I thank you for these servant leaders, God, and just even for me having the heart to continue with Marriage to Real Talk. God, I pray that you would anoint our speech and just guide our conversation today, that you would give us the strategies, and the thoughts that you have for this group, God. This is your group, Lord. So I just pray, God, that your will be done. I pray, Father God, that we will continue to encourage and uplift those around us and those in the community. And we thank you in advance for all that you have planned and all that you will do. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Well, happy Saturday. I know, like I said, everybody has a lot going on, so I don't want this to be a long-winded conversation. I just know it's been a while since we connected. Our group is definitely growing, and there's some things I want to start rolling out here in the near future, as well as I just want to drop feedback on the last several months, what you're seeing, what you're thinking, any suggestions for this. And so I'm going to start out with a few things that I picked up on, and then I have some questions for you guys. So a couple things that I really like so far is the continual engagement, the diversity of the group. It's fun to watch. I love that I can be hands off or hands on, because, well, at least mom and dad, John, know everything I do at this point. I've talked about how I have to have team. I have to have things that don't really require me. I'm there. I know I started it, but I like the flexibility that if I'm away for 2 or 3 days, it can go by itself. I love that. I like how it's growing organically. I had a conversation with somebody the other day, and I was telling them about the group, and I was like, 800, wow, what are you doing? I was like, we are organically having conversations, and people are looking for that. So there's no push, there's no hype. It's just, if you want to be here, cool. If you don't, leave. And then I think that's all. So I'll throw it over to you guys. And if we can make the responses like 2 to 3 minutes, again, we don't want this to be a long call. So question 1 is, how do you like the engagement in the group? And any suggestions on how we can change or enhance it?
You want to go first?
Okay, well, I would say, I think, like Amber said, I think it's been great, because there's been a lot of, Tia's been one that's primarily good about keeping little nuggets.
She's the comedian of the group.
Yes, I see
Jimmy the bodyguard.
Yeah.
You so silly.
Good little nuggets in there. So I think as long as we keep things there for people to kind of chime in on, that's good, because there's not a whole lot of dead space, and then we do something, and then nobody's saying nothing, and then it's a constant flow.
Okay, good.
That's a good thing. You can always look on there and see somebody said something which will cause someone to want to, well, let me chime in on that. So that's good. It's been ongoing and it's been rolling. And I think that keeps the page alive, So that's good. We definitely want all of that to continue.
Anything you would change or think could enhance the engagement?
No, I think people will speak on what speaks out to them. So I think we have enough good nuggets out there. It's just what is calling you,
Okay.
And then us, the team, as we always kind of chime in and add our little bits to it, that kind of keeps it going, because you'll notice that some of our messages have a lot of people chiming in, and it goes back and forth and back and forth. And then sometimes we don't get that much interaction on the post. So it just depends on what's calling that person.
Yeah.
What's speaking to you, but we should just keep going and make sure that content is out there to really kind of make people stop and think.
I love it. Thank you. Okay. Dad?
Same thing. Just basically, it's really good. The information that's being shared I like the things that Jimmy puts up there, and I get on periodically and listen to things that they're saying. I think we're getting the audience, we're getting people kind of listening in. Like you said, it's growing not because you're trying to make it grow, it's just growing because people are just curious. Hey, what's this about? And
Right.
then once they get on and see the, look back at some of the things that we already done. I think that's great. I think what we are doing is evolving. So I think it's going to continue to grow as we continue putting things out there. Some things may come to us and say, hey, let's talk on this subject, because it's something that needs to be talked about. Kind of just keeping it open and doing a single thing is really great. I think that was good.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's in a good vein. So I think we are flowing in the right direction. So
Right.
I think it's good.
Awesome.
And we're not doing anything to make it, we're not just we don't have to work too hard to even make this happen. It's just that it's involving the lives of people.
Yeah, that's it.
Marriage and relationship, as we know, is work, a lot of work. And there's so many things that we tap into, and it just it pertains to somebody, many people, so we don't have to work hard to make this thing happen. That's why all the people are coming in to kind of, hey, what's this about? And then we have more members and more members, because everybody needs help in some kind of relationship.
Yeah,
It takes
that's good.
definitely.
Agreed. I like the organicness you just wore, the organic focus. I really think that's authentic. And Dream says, yes, amen. Jimmy, what about you?
Yeah, looking at it from a business aspect, it is going great. I seen the numbers grow, and I was even awing like, wait, where did 800 come from? The last time I checked, I thought we were still just, floating around that 600 range. And I'm like, this is crazy. So on that end, for you not to be doing necessarily any marketing, you know what I mean? Any business is going to be great when it's grown by word of mouth. You can never beat that. So to see how many people started joining at one day, I mean, that list was so long of people that wanted to be added into the group, and I thought that was amazing. So it says that whatever organically we're doing, it's still making an impact, and people are inviting their friends and having them join the group. The post, listen, my best friend Lourdes put up a post, and it was personal, and she just threw it out there. Me and Tia went back and forth with her for about 4 days from that one post, and then I think someone else chimed in as well. She's not somebody that opens up that easily, especially about her. That was her her real marriage situation. That was not a joke. So when I saw that, I'm like, okay, you know what? This is we are definitely, thank God we are in this the right way, for the right reasons, and saying the right things and being very careful about, what we say and how we say it, because there is some people that are in there really needing real life advice, that are going through situations in their marriages, or just at whatever stage in life. So I think it's amazing. Honestly, I can't see what needs to be changed, because it is running on its own. It's a well-oiled machine. When you get, the other people posting, like, that's when I'm like, okay, yeah, it's changing now, because it's not just the moderators that are posting, or the admin, or Tia in the videos. Other people are wanting to post, and I've seen a lot of guys come in. I caught that. There are a lot more fellas in the group. So yeah,
That's
the bad's balancing out.
It just says that God has put his stamp of approval on what we're doing, Miss Amber.
Amen.
You follow his lead.
It's his deal, it's his bill. That's my thought. So I love that, and I didn't think of it that way, but you're right. When people feel comfortable enough to, in a group, people you don't even know, I'm seeking help me. We have transitioned from the fun group to this is a group that can give me some wise counsel. And I think that's why it is very important that, in hand selecting who can be a part of the team is so important, because what we give out is what we're creating, the culture we're creating, and it's what people are going to have an expectation for. So I think that's really good. Another thing that I really like about the organicness of the growth is we keep everything in-house. So even recently I was trying to think, should I start putting all this stuff on YouTube and making it available? I'm going to do that a little bit more, but it takes away from the community if you're just out here getting the nuggets and you're not coming in to be a part of what we're building. And so because I know on the last one we did, people were trying to share it to their other pages and stuff. And I was like, well, guys, this is our group. It's a private group. So it's in here for you to come. It's a free group, just join. But we want to keep people in our bubble so that we can kind of control what's being said, what's happening. And I think that is another key factor for the growth, because I don't know the Hicks. I met the Hicks through this group. I met the Hicks through, you know, I think she may have, no, we were Facebook friends, but her posts were like, oh, wow, there's some things going on over there. And so then I invited her to the group. And then I seen more posts. I was like, I think we need your story. Would you be open to coming and sharing? And she's like, oh, yeah, we definitely will. So they would be an awesome power couple to join the team. But, you know, we don't need more and more people on the team. But I do think we need diversity within the team. Right now, I think it's very good, which is why I wanted us to all be here, because I do want to also vet. Everything's changing in everybody's lives. And so even though it doesn't require a lot of us to be a part of team, we do need to be present. We do need to be engaging. We do need to be encouraging to those in our community. And if and when we can't do that, we can step back. We don't need to be team. We still just be in the normal group. So I was also trying to vet that in this conversation today, because if I want to invite a few other, you know, team members in, I don't think we need a team of 20 people, right? A small knit group is fine, but I do want people that this is their focus. They are desiring to continue to build with us on that end. So I don't want to go on a tangent, but let me go to the other question. What are your favorite parts of Real Talk? And maybe we already explained them. Engagement, authenticity. We can skip that one. Have you guys noticed anything that goes against our goal of building a family-friendly, focused group for encouraging relationships from all statuses? Have you seen anything that goes against that goal that we should address, or no?
Not me personally, no.
I don't think I have either. Just thought to throw it out there. I would like to do a Real Talk virtual workshop soon, probably somewhere in July. And then I was thinking to maybe start doing these quarterly. These will be the times where we can invite guests specifically to come in and talk on different aspects. It would also be a great, easy way to get kind of like a influx of people all at once. So in the same way, when the Hicks come, or ZF and his wife comes, and these people have all their own different networks and platforms and whatever, they're bringing, or they're not necessarily bringing, but people that are connected to them may eventually say, well, I want to see that whole video. Let me join the group, right? And so in the same way, the virtual workshop will be another quick and easy way, I think, to have an influx of people come join our group. The workshop I'm thinking of would highlight local resources like our therapists, marriage coaches, counselors, resources such as books. I know Tia just has her communication book out. I have my Wife Life book. There's a few other people who have resources, so it could be an easy way to add those in, give value to those. So in regards to a virtual workshop, are there any thoughts or suggestions to make that a success?
Not at the moment.
Okay, and that may be something to chew on. Okay, yeah, chew on that. I'm thinking it'll be around July. It probably won't be like no 2-3 day type of scenario, but it might be, instead of a 1 hour, it might be 3 hours. You know how I'm in a lot of business workshop things, and they might have 2 or 3 speakers, right? And they're talking about different things, but whatever your interest is, you can come in on that segment. So for that, I think I might play around with the Facebook rooms. I have not used those. I do know that they are there. I don't know if you can make them private. So I will have to play around with that to see, is that an option to, is that an option to create a room and then have maybe, so if Jimmy's doing a session on divorce, then boom, 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 can you just go to Jimmy's room versus Keisha's room or versus my room? I don't know, but in short, I think it would be fun to do something like that. And I guess before we do that, we need to maybe even see what the interests are for workshops. I feel like workshops would be really good for counseling.
Yeah.
Where you can go a little bit deeper into a matter. So like even what Jimmy was saying with his friend, you know, if that's been put out there, then maybe, you know, we take note. And that might be something that someone can do. Jimmy, if you're open to it, you're more active in the group between the three of y'all. If you see things where it's like, oh, you know, we need to go a little deeper on that. If you can maybe on your computer or wherever you're normally Facebooking, just put a little, just copy that or somehow pin it so that when we start doing counseling and therapy sessions, we can say, this post right here on this date was like, oh my gosh, let's bring a counselor to come in and talk about that. So that would be cool. Jumping into scenarios. Me and T are normally the ones that's combining efforts to create scenarios. How do you guys think those have been going, or have you seen them? I haven't put any up recently. And my son is coming to get his morning cuddles. Hold on, guys. Life of a mompreneur. Hi, buddy.
My pooter.
Come here. Can you come get her, baby? I gotta switch one out for the other. This is Camden's cuddle time. Baby girl, we'll see you in a minute. Thank you. Cam, say hi, fam.
Hi, Cam.
Let's switch them out. This is what we do in the morning. Hi, buddy. Okay, so this is my big cuddles. So the scenarios, what do you feel like they have been good? Any thoughts on those? Any suggestions on how we can change them, or if we need to? And I kind of feel like what Mom was saying, and this is for any post that's ever posted, people tend to tap into what hits them. If it don't get any tap, that doesn't mean it's bad. It just doesn't hit the people that are actively engaged on the page. But I do think some of these scenarios are so good, we need to, again, bring these back up in therapy sessions, because I think too, some of them hit so hard. It's like, I know that's me, but I don't know these people in this group. I don't know if are they really here to help me, or, you know, and I think me and T had a conversation when I first started doing these, you know, which is why I start adding a little clause on the end of it, because she was saying people don't want to feel like, I think she said she had gotten some feedback that people don't understand, like, what are you trying to get out of it? And are you getting this information from the people in the group for a reason? Especially because the team ourselves are not even responding on the scenarios. So I guess she didn't want it to look biased. What are you doing, bud? You're still biased, like you're asking these very personal things, but then you yourself as a leader or the team members are not responding to these posts. So it's kind of like you just trying to be careful. So basically I just added this, that these are fictional or real examples, and it allows us to, you know, be able to respond to a matter without knowing people's personal business. That was a thought. And that anybody can submit a scenario. Some people do. I've gotten a few, but for the most part, this has been something me and T just bounce ideas back and forth and do. But any suggestions, thoughts, concerns about scenarios?
For me, on the scenarios, You know what my life has been like lately. So when I do get a minute to scroll, I always say, "Oh, I'm gonna get back to that and say something." And a lot of times I just don't. But you are letting people know that, this is fictional or it's real. We don't have any names or anything. So if you want to say something on there, you do, you know, but there's no pressure for people to comment. So, I mean, for her friend to feel like she didn't trust it because we're not saying nothing, right?
Well, that's what I perceived, and she's not on here to speak to it fully, but that's what I was getting out of it because the team is not responding. And this was prior to me putting the disclaimer. So it would just say, real talk, give us your thoughts.
Right. And that's
And
all.
so because people don't know where this is coming from and what's the intent for you asking personal things, I think there was a disconnect. But when I talked to her and I said, okay, well, what about this clause? And she's like, I think that's great. So then it gives people an open opportunity to share. We already said that it's for collective privacy at the bottom of each of them. And so it kind of cleared that out. I don't think we have that concern anymore. But I guess I'm just saying overall with the scenarios, are there any suggestions, thoughts, etc.? You got a potty?
No.
Okay.
Plus, with the scenarios, Amber, if people can comprehend the fact that we're just asking a question, if this was you, what would you say? We didn't say, Jackie Payne, this is Jackie Payne's situation. We said, if this was you, that's all we're asking. If this was you, what would you do? There's no names attached. So, I don't see if people are nervous about saying something or offended in any way about any of it, because it's just simply, if this was your situation, what would you do? So if we can get people to just pay attention to just that little part of, we're just asking your opinion. We didn't have any names out there or anything. So if you can just trust that, you're just helping someone out.
Maybe I could just say, real talk, what would you do? Maybe I need to
The
just,
TV show, what would you do?
yeah, maybe I can do that. So that's a good thought. Jimmy or Dad, y'all have any thoughts on scenarios or
I mean,
changes?
I love it the way it is. I believe that those scenarios help build the seriousness, the trust in how serious the responses are from the group and the people in the group. Those are one of the reasons I believe that my friend was able to open up. I even had my brother, who's actually a best friend of mine. He came and said something that was very serious. He's also another one that they don't open up unless there is some level of trust. And I believe those scenarios and the responses were taken serious, whether they were, whether the scenario was real or not, the response was taken serious. Nobody just went on there and made light of it or played games. And so people that really need that, they're seeing the responses, you know what I mean? And the wisdom and the nuggets that are being dropped. And so I believe it's, again, exactly what you said, just a situation where if it hits somebody and it kind of hits close to home, then they'll respond. And that may be that one post that just gets a lot of hits and the other one just hasn't circled around yet, but it doesn't mean we can't reinvent that scenario some type of way or reword it a little or change the gender. You know what I mean? So we're not going to, or I would suggest not necessarily doing away with it, but if it didn't get a lot of hits, give it a minute, bring it back, maybe switch up the gender or a piece of it, and then let's see what happens. So yeah, I think they're great.
Okay, that's a good thought to reinvent. I'm sorry, go ahead, Dad.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think there's information that we are putting out there, and even though somebody don't respond to it, it's not that they're not thinking. Because even when I was leading my staff, they had to get comfortable with me. And when they got comfortable with me, they start coming in and telling me personal stuff about their family, loss of loved ones, and on and on and on. And sometimes this is feeding people and making them think. And like Jimmy said, the person that they'll never open up, and then they got on here and they just start spilling that out. And sometimes it takes time with some people
To trust.
Yes, yes, sir.
yeah, it takes time. Even for the things that we're talking about, some people will be like, I would comment, but I don't want to comment. So sometimes it takes a little time, but the thing is, keep putting the information out there because somebody's going to respond. And if you're not getting a response, that don't mean that people are not thinking. That's what I'm putting it out there. That's not that then like, oh, well, I'm not thinking about that, but that makes people think, hey, this is a place I can come and get information.
Mhm.
Something that they
I
can
agree. And they could also be watching from the background. They may
Yeah.
just not have built up the strength yet to respond, but doesn't mean they're not reading what people are saying. Yeah.
And that's true. And I was going to actually say that. So one thing I've recognized of most of our posts, especially as we're growing, is that the reach is huge. So just like the nature of people, we're all guilty of it. We don't comment or post on everything we see that scrolls through, but that doesn't mean we're not paying attention. Like there's probably at least 3 people whose birthdays were this week that I was like, I need to go back and say happy birthday to her, right? I seen it. I just didn't have time in my scrolling, whatever I was doing, probably multitasking or whatever. I did not get to comment. And so I think one thing I have learned with just business in general and being on social media, not to take no response as a bad response. I love your idea, Jimmy, of reinventing content. Because there's and it ebbs and flows because people are in different seasons at different moments. So very good piece there, Dad. I love your thought, and it takes people time to really, really dive in. And I think what I like about this group is there for those who want it and need it. You know what I mean? And it's there for you when you need it. It's like just a resource. It's just a resource. And so great comments on that. Next thing I want to talk.
Go back, Amber. I'm sorry.
How far can I go back?
I mean, if somebody sees a scenario and they think, okay, I saw that, but I'm gonna get back to that. I want to.
They can come right here to the topics in the group.
Okay.
And actually, Facebook has made this a lot longer. You were able to just do. This is my other friend, y'all, scheduler. Yes. So a lot of the stuff y'all see come out, I have scheduled. I do not be at my computer all day long. So the scheduler, and I don't know if y'all have access to that, which I guess at this point, y'all don't, I need to be the main one scheduling my stuff because I'm away. But in short, prior to recently, it used to only be the things that I coined here, unless they changed it. Topics in this group. Facebook keeps always changing stuff. It used to be only ones that we created. So I had live talk scenarios, tea time, prayer calls, and polls, I think, in the introduction questionnaire. All these other ones is now like anytime somebody do a hashtag, it's making more hashtags, and I'm sure it's for indexing as well as an easy find. If somebody comes here and they just say singles, it probably will take you to all of the posts that's focused on singles, which is great because it still allows people to get quick access. I think some people don't know about that, but if they go back to the announcements when we already created a video for it, the initial video here, the welcome video, which I always encourage people to go watch the welcome video, it does actually show you, I actually screenshotted on that one, how to go and find popular topics. So if you want the information, it's out there. People just have to take time to go watch that first video. And I actually probably need to remove the announcements on these.
If you don't know how to navigate through all of that, there's a lot there. Then you
can just use the search box
for somebody to use the search and just kind of.
You can search by name. You can search by you can search by name. You can search by
topic that they want. Anything.
I mean, if they wanted to just see y'all's real talks, just tell them go in and put your name. It should populate.
How many admins do you have now?
The same core, or you can go back and look at that. So Shelby and Stacy are just prayer. They, they just want to stay in that block. So they're the ones that we do our prayer calls. And that this past week's prayer call, go back and listen to that. That was amazing. So amazing. So they just do the prayer calls. I don't normally get to jump in on those because my kids sometimes are up at 8:30 on Fridays, but on the times that I can and I feel led to, I do. So this past week I was able to jump on. They're the prayer warriors. They're praying over the group. They're praying the mission. They pray over me. So that's their thing. I don't think Stacy's a admin. It's just the core of us. So all of us here, we're supposed to be here. Kamisha, Tiffany, Tia, y'all. That's it.
I thought I saw something. Wame, she's not.
She's not an admin.
I thought I saw her add something, but then I thought, well, she's not.
So people can post in the group, and that's a point Jimmy brought up in regards to people feeling comfortable to post. It may be because we haven't really announced, hey, you can come in and put your whatever. People are used to posting in groups, and they do still always have the option at the top. But I think because our group is already so engaged, people kind of wait for us to respond. And that's fine too. I do want us to continue to be the forerunners of the content. I love when people chime in. So one of the things I am going to encourage people to do is share when people have anniversaries. I mean, I know I always do it, but there's a lot of people I'm sure I miss. And I'm sure people probably like, dang, she ain't saying nothing about my anniversary. Well, I scroll so quick. Generally, if you on the top few, scrolls of my feed, whenever I get on and I see it's your anniversary, I'll just do it. But there's hundreds of people in here that, one, I don't know, we're not Facebook friends, so I'm not going to see that it's your anniversary. And two, I'm just going to miss. So one thing I am going to open up is share when you see someone's anniversary that's a member here. We want to support them. We want to encourage and congratulate them. That is one way to encourage posting anniversaries. Another thing that we can encourage is if you just have a topic you want to discuss, or, those type of things. And generally from what I have seen in our group, people will respond, but they're kind of waiting for us to lead, which is kind of how I wanted it to be. Just because I'm in some groups and it's like, I don't know, I just can feel a little all over the place. If y'all get what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
I kind of like that. We are the content providers, producers, and we still welcome your stuff in, but we're going to still kind of govern what goes on in here so that, I'm pretty sure there's probably been some groups that grow, and then you got a messy crew in there, or the content is just random or not relevant, or it just changes and then everybody leave. We don't want that.
I believe that there's a unseen reverence for us leading the conversation and topics, and they have unspokenly kind of yielded to that. So they put something up and then they flow with it.
Yeah.
Been like, no one said anything. Like, they seem to be okay with it because they'll respond. And the response is so I've built these weird, you can feel people's energy. I've built these connections with certain people in the group from comments. Like, I almost know their personality and type of person they are from every time I comment. It's the same certain people that will come and they'll say something if they see me comment or see my post. Like, I can name who they are. I can name each lady. I know the guys. I know, how this guy speaks. There's another couple, two Caucasian couples. Like, I know like her story, and I'm like, that's weird. It's not like I'm on here all day, every day. But I've noticed a pattern of, these are the same kind of people.
They gravitate towards
how to reach them now. And
it's
good.
So
funny because I kind of also have to be careful. I realized I started getting friend requests from the opposite sex. I'm like, wait, I'm single, but I ain't single like that. Like, not that single, right? Y'all gonna get me in trouble. Breakups will happen home around here. Look, I had one of my own scenarios, trying to figure out my own stuff. So no, not until I'm all the way free. Like that may be a topic I bring up. Like there's difference between single, and involved, and like, look, let's be clear. Let's be clear. And maybe why your Boaz or your Esther ain't came. You don't know what single really is. So, but, yeah.
That would be a good discussion, sir.
Yeah, see, Jimmy,
Yeah.
you awesome, man. That's what I said, man. You be knocking it out the park, man. I just sit back and chill and say, this brother be knocking it out the park. Well, I'm doing some education myself.
I love it. That's such good feedback, and they definitely gravitate towards. And that's what I like about diversity. You know what I mean? Because different people are going to gravitate to different people, and that, it just makes it even more of a special place when you can know, oh, she's going to say this, oh, So I love that. Another thing.
I'm sorry, can I say one quick thing? Mm-hmm. I just wanted to say, as far as the posting, now we have to accept the post when people post. You said anybody can post, but we're actually accepting or not accepting the post. When they create their post, then it sits there for one of us to allow it.
Exactly.
The post. So that way it doesn't just come into the group. It's all crazy and messy.
Yeah, we have to approve it. Okay. So even with the marriage ones, but if we're agreeing, which is why I think team meetings are good, because we can just communicate it. There's no mix-ups, right? If we're communicating, when I announce, these are the ways we want to encourage you to engage in our community. We do have, as a team, different things, a certain way that we like to keep, our feed and our conversations, which is why we have scenarios and boom, 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 live chats, whatever. But you're a part of the family too. So we want to encourage you to post when you see a friend who's a part of the community, who's having an anniversary. We don't want birthdays in here. 800, 900 birthdays would be overwhelming, right? But anniversaries are once a year. So if you see just go ahead. We want to celebrate. We want to congratulate. So it will be like that. But then when they actually try to share it, it doesn't have to be a communication piece for all of us. We already said any anniversaries, we're going to go ahead and approve. So yes, no matter what they post, with the exception of the moderators, and I want to say it was something else where it was like friends of the friends of the friends or something, didn't have to, no, maybe not. Maybe I'm mixing something up. But for the most part, anything that's posted has to be approved first.
I'll sit there until one of us say, yes, approve. Okay.
Same for invitations. I don't feel like we should change that right now. Here in a moment, we may just make it like, well, no, because it's a private group, you will always have some level of security. It's not just going to be I want to be in a group and you're instantly in. I do still like to see people answer the initial questions, which are basically our rules. You won't be spamming, you won't be derogatory, those things. A lot of people do say, I agree to that. So I like to see that, but it doesn't, in my opinion, keep them from being able to be involved if they don't. Now, as we grow, we may have a new, process for people coming in after that point. But for now, I think it's fine.
Okay.
Challenges. So I'm in the middle, like most of y'all know, of starting a new community, but it's women focused. One of the suggestions I got was challenges for that group. So then I was like, oh, we can maybe do some challenges for Real Talk. Challenges might look like things that so maybe there's a single challenges and married challenges. They actually have gifts attached to them. I don't know, $20 Cash App, a gift card, whatever. And so maybe, and this might be a segue, Mom, for us, how we can effectively and consistently get these giveaways done. Because I know it's been a challenge of, well, when do we do it? And What do we give it out for? So challenges would be something like, okay, so we have the singles. Maybe Jimmy, Kamisha, and Tiffany come up with what is going to be the challenge for the month of June. So the challenge could be something like, I don't know, Jimmy, what's something that you feel like, so let me give you an example of what you would do for weight loss, and then we need to find these type of challenges for relationships. So for weight loss challenges, drink a gallon of water every day for 7 days. Whoever does that, you're in a raffle to win $20, right? That's something you could do in a weight loss group, or something like that. So what are some, and again, this may not be anything we know right now, but I want us to think about for the month of June, what could be a singles challenge that is easy for men and women to participate. Singles.
You just reminded me, I don't know if you remember a while back on Facebook, they did, it was like a 7-day challenge of pictures, but they were all black and white. So every day we took a picture of something that was or what was it? Oh yeah.
Yes, those are fun.
Connected to who we are or what we do. And then we made it black and white. And they would put like a little comment, but it was only for 7 days. I mean, I literally did it. Like if it was something important throughout my day, like, you know, my children, or maybe a place that I go every day, or where I work, or where I go to clear my thoughts. So I remember doing one at Blackwood Park because that's my spot. Like that's where I go, you know, and amongst the trees and just walking. I took a picture of the black and white, and it was amazing how many people connected with those commonalities of other people just from the pictures. So for singles, one of the things I hear a lot of singles say, and they talk about, you know, dating yourself or focusing on yourself. I mean, it actually kind of hit a couple married people because they were having the issue with that. The one conversation we were having about, you know, having your own, you know, thing at the same time too, because I believe that's where kind of issues can come in. Like we do everything so much and there's no, you know, your piece of there's no separation. So I believe something like that, you know what I mean? At least that's where my mind went, you know? So self-help, 7 days of dating yourself, or 7 days of your own personal growth. And if they post something, you know what I mean, for 7 days straight, then they can be, you know, put in that.
I love that. Now my challenge is, especially because like I said, I'm in the group, but I'm not in there like all day. Like this past, well, yesterday I was online a lot yesterday, and I was like, okay, overload. But for the most part throughout the week, it's very spotty for me. I'm trying to get to the point where I do my scheduling for my Real Talk post and my design post on Sundays. So they're coming out like I'm actively there on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but I'm not. So my challenge with what you just shared, and challenges in general, unless we're going to have a point person who's going to keep track, how do you know who participated? How do you know?
Hashtag it. You know how Facebook is keeping up the hashtags?
Oh, so maybe that's where those had those. Okay. And then just at the end go through.
Create a hashtag for it. That way you can search the hashtag and you'll only see the post from that.
That's right. Okay. So that,
so
and then at the end we would just have to go through and count it.
Yeah, or just maybe.
Okay. So
but at least it's not too scattered. You can kind of have it in one place. Because you can search.
That's good.
I know you can search us by name. I don't know if we can search people in the group by name.
So, and you can. So even what you're just saying, like, so if we have a hashtag, so even some of the tags I use, it's the same. So you answer what I've already been doing. Sharing is caring is one of my favorite things. I always say that in different ways. So any of the posts that says sharing is caring, that is where this is taking me to. So hashtag is the answer. Okay, so we will do that. We can brainstorm what those look like, but it will be nice to be on June 1st, which is what, Monday?
Yeah,
Tuesday. So by Tuesday, let's have a singles one and have a married one. The gift can be for a couple, maybe it's
the married one could be fun, I believe, because there's so much liberty, so much more liberty they have with, you know, that they're involved with. I mean, from things they do together to what they do, you know, apart from fun activities or family. Like, yeah, I believe
What you think? What you thinking, Jimmy? You look like you already got the answers to what
yeah,
we.
as soon as you said that, I'm thinking, you know, when I was married, there was, you know, there were times that I was just with, you know, my daughter, or we were just, you know, doing family things together, whether it was church or outing or vacation. There's just married wise, you know, or times we were just going on a date, you know what I mean, for the married couples that still date each other, you know, so different things or different places they went on
Okay.
a date or
So
their
let's just
story.
keep the theme dating, singles, dating, married. The theme is dating. Singles is 7 days of, so you said 7 days of dating yourself, okay?
Mhm.
And then for the married, it's 7 days of
Dating your
dating
spouse.
each other. Put a post of you and your spouse doing something where you're dating each other, and give us 3 words to describe that picture. You know,
Yeah.
something simple that people can just be like, boom, boom. Because if it's too much, people don't do it. But if
Right.
it's simple and something they can do consistently, and we see the engagement,
They
and we have
typically
a
overdo it
price
at that point.
we have a prize, rather that's people like, oh yeah, I want that. So I think for the couples, maybe like a $50 gift card, or if that's too high, $30 gift card for dinner. Maybe for the singles, it's a gift card for dinner to yourself. You know, what y'all think
I
of
think
that?
50 is not bad. I mean, for a couple, that's a decent, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's good. And like you said, I like it too, that what do you, as married couples, what do you do by yourself? What you do your long time? Just like me and my wife, she knows me early in the morning. I like my quiet time. I get in my car and I go for a stroll.
Yes, sir.
Just to have me time, not just to be me and her be together, but then I also like my away time. So having that in there too for the married couples is good too. What do you do for your long time when you're not with your spouse?
I
Wow.
like that. So maybe with the married side, we can switch it up. It doesn't have to just be dating yourself. Maybe it is, or maybe dating your spouse, just dating in general. How do you date your spouse? Maybe how do you date yourself as a married couple? You know, like, and just mix it up. So I will
Oh,
line up.
man, Lord. I'm sorry. You just gave me an idea. I have to write it down before I forget, because Dad just, now my creativity is flowing. So Dad just had a really good point. I don't know why when he said it, I thought about dating, like the singles that are dating, like dates gone wrong. I don't know why they just popped up in my head, and my mind is running with it.
Dates gone wrong. So what would they have to submit for dates gone wrong?
I'm thinking about like a conversation or a scenario of conversation piece in the group about dates, good and bad dates.
Okay.
For those that are single but dating, single and involved, so they don't kind of get left out the sauce. Sometimes the conversation seems so, I'm just by myself, and a lot of them are not, or a lot of us are not just by ourselves. We're involved with somebody, but there hasn't been a commitment. Yeah, there's still that.
So we're gonna let you come up with the scenarios for the singles. So maybe one of the scenarios is how you date yourself. Another scenario is how you date while dating yourself. I don't know. So you come up with seven on the dating side.
Yeah.
Me, Mom, and Dad, we will come off stage and come up with 7 scenarios on the marriage side. And then I can go ahead and do the graphics and advertise those for the first part of June.
So this is a once a month thing. This is not a weekly thing, right?
I think once a month. And this will be the way we give out our giveaways.
Once a month.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, because I think it'll be overkill to see people doing all this every, you know, because there's going to be a lot of people wanting to get prizes, right? So I think once a month, and maybe we do it at the first week of every month. Then that is also, Mom, the answer to us, our giveaways. We've been trying to figure out, well, how do we get consistent? Maybe we do challenges at the first of every month, If you want to participate, there'll always be a cash gift card or, you know, cake or something we can send people. I love that. I think that answers the gift card, the giveaway. Because I was going to go to giveaways. How do we get some consistency? But we just answered that. Y'all cool with that?
It'll be attached to the challenges.
Yeah. And then, I mean, sometimes if I just want to give my money away, I'll just jump up and say, hey guys, I'm doing cash out giveaway. But for the most part, it will be the challenges. Love that. Glad we thought of that. I said something about YouTube earlier, and I see we're at the hour mark, so let me hurry up. I said something about YouTube earlier. Do you guys agree or disagree that we should keep things in-house and not have a lot of YouTube links spiraling around?
Keep it right here, I think.
Yeah.
In-house.
Here, I think we should just keep it right here, right now, because I think this is just a page for people that really want to chime in. And once you start putting names, people getting grown in a group, that's going to spread. And before you know it, this is going to be like 1,000, 2,000 people.
Yeah, okay, I agree. I do plan to do some snippets because I think that engages the outside community to say, oh, I want to be in that community. But I definitely agree. I want to keep everything in here because it is kind of your hub, you know? And if you just don't, if you have links everywhere, it takes away the, I don't want to sacred, but the fun and the camaraderie that we're building. So thanks for that. Okay, so let's just go on real quick into the June chat suggestions. And then I think that is, oh no, monetization, which I thought T would be on here. We kind of talked about it a little bit. T has her book, I have a book. And then there's sometimes people who are kind of coming in, and Jimmy was a bodyguard on one of them.
You so
Jimmy, I was like, Jimmy, you are officially the bodyguard, bro. We gonna get real talk bodyguard. I am making you a shirt, bro.
No, like you can tell who's posting and doing what. Like, listen, you ain't gonna come in here and just use real talk as no. This is not your marketing.
Right. So me and my
yeah, like,
me and T had a conversation. Me and my husband had a conversation because there has been just a few scenarios. And honestly, once I had a conversation with people, they're cool. I think it's just because we don't have anything out there and people see a fun, engaging group. By all means, everybody, including most of us here, have some business, something, right? So I'm for it, but this is not the group to just come and vet in. And so, but my thinking is this, because we're growing, when we get to 1,000 members, which I project that to be on or between the month of July or August, I would like to roll out next level Real Talk, which will include a way for people to come in and advertise for a fee. Those fees will also help us, one, be able to do these giveaways and even more fun things for our group. Maybe I want to be able to do little bundles that I create that ties into my design aspect, my Mela aspect, my marriage Real Talk aspect, and mail people. So like gift boxes, it will go into advertising and maybe sometimes being able to gift, you know, different people on a team who's contributing the most. I'm not saying we're going to be employees, but if there's, say, for instance, 1,000 people in the group and there's 10 entrepreneurs and they need to market and they're like, oh, this is my audience. I have a book that focuses on relationships. I want to intentionally be able to advertise here. Then I can go ahead and create a graphic, maybe give them a 5-minute snippet of me interviewing them, and then they have to pay $50 for that to be advertised a couple times a month. And so I haven't thought about the prices, but I was thinking like a nominal fee of 25, then maybe 50, and then maybe 100, depending on what they get to do in the group. And so for that reason, what I wanted to know from you guys is, one, what do you think about that idea? Two, what are some disclaimers or requirements that we should make for those who want to advertise, so that when we get to that 1,000 mark, I can get up live and say, hey guys, we're over 1,000 members. We're glad you're here, and here's what's next. These are the ways you can advertise here, and these are the requirements. Thoughts?
Maybe
And posting their books and stuff, are we going to kind of like You know, somebody want to post a book, are we going to kind of, like most people do, they read the book before they say, okay, now you can come on that, see what the book is, the contents in the book before we start inviting people into. I mean, that's just a thought came to my mind.
So not necessarily. So what I was thinking of, you know how you're on Facebook or IG and you'll see sponsored, well, you scrolling, you just could see sponsored. You don't know this is sponsored. That means she paid Facebook to sponsor her ad on my feed because I probably meet her demographic in some way, shape, or form. What I'm saying is, in our community, we are your demographic, whether it be like ZF and Lawanda. They have a radio show focused on relationships, and they were the ones that Jimmy was trying to beat up. And so for good reason, because I'm with you. And there's been a few others where I'm like, I can maybe invite you on to share content and value for our group. And in the last 5 seconds, you can tell us what you're doing. I'm all about support, but I think when you give people a system to fall into, they're fine with it. I think we just haven't given that. And so at 1,000+, I want to give a system where it's like, you want to advertise. If you weren't invited as a guest and you are not a team member, this is your option if you choose to. And if not, no big deal. But I think if we have a marginal cost, meaning it's not $500 to invest into something that, not that it would be that high, but basically just saying if it's reasonable and it's a good, exposure, 1,000 people is not 5,000, but it's 1,000 versus 100.
Honestly, I know he's one of the top 5 watercolor artists in the United States. I was just with him in Cleveland. Do you know what he told me he does? He goes to groups that are 1,000+, and that's how he advertises. And he joins the groups.
Yeah.
And then he places his marketing there.
Yeah.
And then that way
strategic
from
marketing.
The group can connect with him.
Yeah.
So
and that's exactly what we want to do.
Yeah. And so them as an example, like, okay, well, that's great if you joined the group, but are you joining to get the hundreds of people from this group to go to your radio show? And then it becomes a conflict of interest. Like, what's your motive for being in the group? Because we're not going to lose the tight-knit community. It took time to build that trust and to get these people, and we have our own culture and flow. And we don't want it to be a situation where somebody comes in and it's a conflict of creativity, and somebody, they come and they have a group, and now you trying to take all our members and sifted them to your group. Now we went from 1,000 to 600. We're like, wait, what happened? So I believe that marketing is okay as long as it's not a conflict of creativity interests. So it can't be somebody that has another group. So you can't say, well, I have a group, I'm gonna join this group and I'm advertising my group. Well, no groups. Do
so then that's exactly what I need to hear, because what I need to understand is what's a creative way to do it without conflict, but that still build value. So for instance, I think, like you said, just having a blanket statement, no group promotions, books and other, tangible resources that people can tap into that we don't have. Or I was even thinking of having a page, because I'm going to eventually have a website just for Real Talk, but even here, creating a bookshelf. So if you want to, for $25, provide us with a cover of your book, your name, your website, that type of thing, we can then on this page advertise you on our bookshelf, which we promote twice a month. Something like that, like you said, is no conflict of interest, because this is not a book club. We're not focusing in on authors, but people need content for their relationships. I love that. I'm gonna make a note. Any other like red flags outside of like no groups that y'all thinking of?
No.
No.
So what would be the main things we would accept outside of books? Will we promote events here, or think no?
I think we're gonna be all over the place if we start doing everything. Books, And, you know, I think it's gonna
Don't
lose,
be too
we're gonna
inundated.
lose focus of what we're really about
Yeah.
if we
Okay.
start allowing everything.
Yeah.
So then maybe we don't do that. Maybe it is just books.
Yeah.
We
I mean,
advertise.
well, books will probably be the thing that you focus on because there's some good books out there
Mhm.
that can
Relationships.
relationship can be vital,
Mhm.
whether it's marriage,
Instead of-
single, things like that. So I think just keeping it in that frame right now and
Instead
seeing
of
how that go
businesses.
before we branch off. Because like
Yeah.
you said, like Jimmy stated it too, we don't want to get into the place where, oh, we don't built up 2,000 people and all of a sudden they dropping off. Oh, I'm gonna follow this person. I'm gonna follow this person. Then we don't lost our creativity of what we're trying to build here.
Right.
Okay.
And then that culture that we already have in the group, like, I mean, these people really are like, I just, honestly, that is phenomenal to me. I can log on right now and I can know who's who. Like, it's starting to become personal,
Mm.
Tia says something, it's personal. People are connected now, with her personality and who she is, and never had a conversation. I mean, just from the responses. So yeah, I wouldn't want to lose that tightness of the group.
Yeah, yeah,
Intimate.
Okay. Okay. Great feedback. So then we won't do any groups or any, it just will be basically book promotions. We'll offer book promotions for a small fee, and only because my other concern was with that, I don't want to see 50 books every day. That will wear me out. So we do book promotions. It's first come, first serve. We only want your book cup. So not allowing people to give us a whole biography, we don't need all that. What's your topic? Do you have a link to buy? Why is this important? Just a few things. So I think the main thing is giving people space to know what their options are to advertise. And so if I come up and say 1,000 people, we're so glad you're here. We've had some people wanting to advertise here for this reason of keeping our group focused on our content, focus on a community we're creating. We're not still allowing open advertising of books, church events, and all these other things. But we are happy to announce we are now offering book promotions once a month. And so maybe each month we only highlight one book a month or 2 books a month, so that it's not this book and this book and this book and this book, unless we get to the point where we have a bookshelf, which I think could be super cool. That would be one graphic with like 6 books on it, and the links associating. And then if each book is $25, well, instead of us coming out of pocket for cash apps and giveaways, that's the pot for the giveaways. So I love the idea. We'll start there and just go down the line with that.
Starting.
When we get to 1,000 members. So I'll go ahead and start drafting the verbiage, the graphics and stuff like that, so that when we're ready, I can just push go. But I think 1,000 members will be a nice little, wow, we made it, guys. Here's something new, That's all I have outside of, are there any specific topics or shares y'all want to do for June or July? I said August, but that might be too far out. But I want to start having, I know I'm doing a few chats in June, but I want to see if there's anyone who wants to book something for June or July.
I'll say July.
Yeah.
July for me and Daddy. And I'll try to start, being more involved with some posts, or either, at least paying more attention to the scenarios or posting something, but an actual chat for us next month.
Okay, sounds good. Jimmy, did
Remember,
you still want to schedule something?
Yeah, I need to do something. Let me think about it, because my mind started when you mentioned it in our chat. But me and Tia have a very interesting way we feed off each other. I have to find a way to bring us together on a video.
That would be good.
Where we both agree on something, or we are discussing it from the male and the female point of view, because we always seem to find that balance. So we have this recurring theme, and it's funny now. Either she challenges me or I open her up to something, or she opens me up to
Y'all
something.
both funny. That's what it is.
We have, yeah.
So get with her and let me know what the conversation will be. For me, I'm going to be planning a men's talk for June. And I'm also getting the Hicks to come back. That conversation was so good. That was so good. I don't know if y'all got to see it, but the Hicks did a phenomenal job expressing infidelity, lack of friendship, reconciliation. Like, they've been married 10 years and recognize we are not friends. We haven't been friends. So at 10 years in, they are starting friendship, like real friendship, which alludes to partnership. And so it was so good. So me and her have a follow-up, but we're going to be scheduling them back for sometime in June. And
Was that last week?
yeah, that was earlier this week. Hi buddy, I almost finished. And outside of that, if you guys know anyone who is a therapist or a counselor, I am seeking some wise counselors, preferably people who will speak from a biblical view, to start having some chats in the group, similar to what me and T do. I call her chats Tia times, tea time with T. So if I can find somebody who's just as interested in healthy relationships, that's not just here to promote their business, right? Because we all got businesses, but I'm not on here. It's like, oh, come do this. No, that's not this.
Kim Bozeman, Amber, you know, she
I reached out to her. She don't respond too well. And that's the other thing. I need people that, you know, you about your business game, but you can get things done. I don't want to have to fish. It's just not, it's not timing. But she would be great. I think her and her husband would be great. So if you know anybody on that end, that's kind of the last piece. Any final thoughts?
Okay, tell me what you want from the counselor. I'll try her one time. We've been together a little while ago. Let me try her one time. We want somebody
who can come share their take on relationship stuff. I would probably give them different topics once a month. And I mean, it would be ideal to have men, women, just a different variety. So if we can find maybe 2 therapists and 2 counselors, the same way we rotate our conversations, we would allow them to rotate their conversations within the group and share insight from a therapist stance. So maybe the conversation is communication, maybe it's infidelity, maybe it's, challenges with parenting, just different things, but from not just a normal person's view, but from a clinical therapist or counselor's view on that title or on that topic.
We want their interaction to be ongoing, like on a monthly basis.
We want them to be pretty much contributors like we are, but we're, hey, chill out, okay? We want their interaction to be present. So just like us, we're not all on there every day, all day, but on a weekly basis, be there. Don't just show up just to be seen and have people come to your thing. But I guess what I'm saying is a contributor who's just like us, but has that clinical experience and background. Where's mommy's phone?
We'll check around for somebody else. Like you said, if we gotta ask you too many times, you're not the person. So there's many people out there, we'll find one.
Yeah. So that's about it. Did y'all have any final questions, thoughts?
No, all is well.
All right. Well, this has been great. Happy holiday to everyone. And since all of y'all are Mela customers, reminder, if you haven't shop. If you need help, let me know. I appreciate you guys for being supporters on pretty much everything I do at this point, especially mom and dad. Y'all don't have no choice. But
Oh Lord.
We have a choice.
nah,
Right.
I know where you live and I can get a key to that house. Okay.
We have a choice. We just choose to.
Oh, well, Dad,
That's
I know me and Dad, this one right here always got to give me some rebuttal. But Dad, I love you. I love
I am you and you are me. We don't like what we see when we look in the mirror now, do
No,
we?
I'm not you. We're totally two different people.
Well,
But I love y'all. And if anything comes up, let me know. We need, that's the thing. When will we be able to have the list for the challenges? Like what people gonna have to do to win?
We work on that this week and hopefully. by-
yeah.
Okay, so I'm deadline driven, y'all. When we gonna have it done? I'm gonna come up with a couple too, and then we can maybe do a consensus or something.
Because you want to put it out on Tuesday, right?
First.
Calendar.
Yeah, you said the
Yeah.
Or
challenge.
maybe we can just well, what is first a Monday? Hold on, what day is it?
The first is Tuesday.
Okay, so the first is Tuesday. So yeah, well, that's a holiday. Are y'all gonna be?
Monday is the holiday.
I'm gonna do mine today because I ain't gonna be thinking about none of this on Sunday and Monday. So I'm gonna do mine today and drop it in the messenger. Really, we just need 7 ideas to promote from the first through. Is that an odd time? Do we want to do it on the 7th? Do you want to do it a straight week or does it matter?
Oh, good question.
I can't say. Let's start it next week, Amber. Give me a minute.
Yeah,
Let's
started
start it
on
next week.
Oh, see, why the delay? It's 7 ideas.
Or we take this week, we do it next. Well, no, it's only once a month. The challenge.
So it will be once a month, but it's consecutive days, right, Jimmy? It's 7.
It should be consecutive. If they're going to enter the challenge, to make sure they actually earn that prize, they should have to do it 7 days in a row.
Yeah, give me next week. I can't this week. I just can't.
What is it that you can't do?
Think it out and just give me next
She
week.
ain't doing nothing, Jimmy. We
Well, you ain't done half of what I've been doing. Not this week for me. No.
Okay, that's fine. So
I'll do it next time. You do it this time.
Well, yeah. So what I'm saying is, it's nothing really to do. It's just because it could be the same thing every day. If we're saying couples have to date each other, maybe it's 7 days of what are you doing to date each other? That's one thought, 7 days. So it doesn't have to be a mix up. Do y'all think it should be or it should not be?
I don't know.
I mean, a mix. You can date, whether you're married or single, you have, creative way of dating in the house, dating outside, dating at a place, whatever.
So do we just want to put the theme dating? Hashtag is real talk dating for 7 consecutive days. Post something with you dating. You as,
So
and then,
yourself, your spouse, and then you have the ones that are single but involved.
Okay, I think that just simplifies. Let's do that. I'll put that out for Monday and we'll just see who does it. Now, what if we don't get 7 days? Do we just do the person who's done the most or is it just like you ain't do 7 days, you don't get it?
Yeah, 7 days or 7 or bust.
Okay.
All
right, Tia. All right. Thank you guys so much. Have a good rest of your day.
Okay.
Bye.